guys, and Wednesday Night with Those Guys is sponsored by
those guys. What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday.
What's going on, Lawrence? It is hump day. Hump day.
Yes.
The middle of the week, everyone. And how is everyone out there doing?
I'm doing good. I hope everyone. Michael Blade says he's eating dinner, but he'll be back.
Okay.
Stephen is there. Maddie.
What's good, man?
Maddie's Drone World. Jody was there earlier.
Hey, Maddie's Drone World. What's good?
Else? And Night Train was there earlier.
Train. Yeah, I saw Night Train earlier. Night Train was actually the first one here, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yes, he was. Okay. But what's good, everyone? I see Steven's busy as hell. I like that. I wish I had that much work. Night Train says it's been raining for days there. That's because Night Train, that storm seems to have held up right over you guys. We're not going to get it until tomorrow, Thursday, right? If I remember.
I was telling you they were talking about that storm on the news, and I kept wondering why, when they were showing the game Saturday, like this week, why they kept talking about that storm, and I guess that's the storm everybody's dealing with.
Gary, what's up?
But we're getting a little bit of rain here and there, off and on.
Yeah, well, it was supposed to rain here this morning, which was why I didn't go fly. And I was like, you know what? Hey, now Mother Nature's messing with me. Yesterday you couldn't fly, right? So I figured I'd go out and fly this morning. Said, oh no, it's going to be raining in the morning. Then I get up. They say, well, it may rain, it may not. In other words, they didn't know what the hell it was going to do, but it's whipping around out here. Night Train said that storm is actually held up over there, right near or above you. I forget what exact area where you are, Mike, but I do know it's held up and it will be here in another day. Actually, tomorrow. Isn't it supposed to rain tonight? Start raining tonight, but tomorrow rain all day. What does the weather say? The weather says
not exactly sure, but I know that
all day Thursday is dead going into Friday morning, according to what they're showing on the weather here.
No fly zone area here in New York, Lawrence.
Still?
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, the UN. I forget. Well, I guess there's a reason I did.
It doesn't affect. Well, yeah. It kind of does. No, well, yes and no in your area.
Yeah. See, yeah. That's why some people, it's been all day today and cold. Well, today's the first day of fall. It's hump day and the first day of fall. So for you people like me who suffer allergies and stuff, this is the best time of the year. I mean, there's pollen in the air, but it's not too bad. There's a decent breeze all the time. Night Train says 52 out right now. Damn.
Well, it's about 77.
How are you feeling, Night Train? Weren't you going through something a little while back, or you had something happen? I remember you saying you was down for a while. I don't remember the exact conversation because I may have or may not have been drinking that night. But
well,
I digress.
What's new? No, but I noticed that a lot of people are talking about Autel.
Yes. Hey, Mike, Fly Zone. What's up, man? Mike, Rob C, Aviano. How are you doing? What's good? Hope all is well. Yes, everyone's talking about Autel. I'm glad somebody's talking about another drone company out there other than. I'm so sorry about that. That wasn't supposed to start playing. Why is that? Oh, I know why. Because I was going to get your PayPal link to blast in the chat randomly, and I have you featured on my page. So when my page opens up, that's the intro video. Anyway, I digress. Hey, how are you, Mike? Chicago, you guys are turning into some FPV dudes, I see. I see a lot. And I notice a lot of guys are doing a great with these interviews, having people on their live streams. I salute you all for doing so. I can promise you, Herman and I have some stuff in the works. We're just laying low key about it. But we have a bunch of stuff that we're working on, you know, maybe a takeover or two, um, maybe some merch. We will see. That's some dramatic music for an hotel. Believe it or not, if you go to my page, Rob C, that's the featured video for newcomers.
What?
But if you're returning to my video, I have something else coming up, something else up. But finally, and I like to apologize real quick before you say anything, Herman, I haven't put out a video in over a month. Between the no-fly zones and me having problems with my goggles, which is fixed. It was the power line and Mother Nature and life itself. I finally be able to come out with a video this Monday. This Monday. Oh, what's that? The world's tiniest violin? No, he didn't. You're lucky. I don't have a button for that comment. Yeah, I told you I'm gonna add sounds. The tiniest violin. That's another sound I need. See? See. So next time when you do it, I could play the violin. I keep crashing the DJI FPV. I should work on hovering and flying straight. No, Rob C, you should come out here and hang out with me and let me spot and show you how to fly FPV. I've already shown several people in New York City how to fly FPV, and now they've went and become a lot better than I am. Yes, it's great having fun with my boys. Now listen, Mike. Fly
What are you
zone
trying to
drone.
do, Rob, out the box that you're crashing?
Well, for one, learning to fly FPV for the first time, you should have someone there.
Yeah,
Yes, you should have someone there because uh, I, I, I'm just saying it's safer.
I just
Flew
don't
my DJI FPV around here last week. Night train. How do you like it? And I know you're an analog going digital. You're a diehard FPV fan. How do you like the DJI FPV bird personally? And have you started messing with the PIDs and rates?
let's hear this one.
Anyway, what's good with you, Herman? How's your week going?
I'm good. I mean, I just been doing my thing.
See,
Like I said,
what I notice from week to week, I have to look at your background and see what one of these things doesn't belong here.
everything that you
You
see,
remember that? You remember that when you were a child? One of these things doesn't belong here. And I
everything
think
is
that was
there from
a
last week.
Sesame Street thing. I notice. I notice. I took a snapshot. I pulled up the snapshot.
There's nothing new.
Yeah. But I just have to pay attention to that. It's a good mix, but only for cinematic bird. It's not like flying hour quads. I didn't think so. Isn't it a lot stiffer? And for that reason to be geared towards more cinematic.
I train
Night Train says it's a good mix, but it's more of like a cinematic FPV bird, which I could believe. I've never heard anyone say it like that. Everyone's like, it flies like FPV. Well, it looks like FPV. It does fly like FPV. It does do all the tricks and loops and flips and all of that. But I could see what you're saying, Mike. I thank you for that input. Yeah, it definitely has a place. I wouldn't mind owning one.
hmm
Hey, Sean Wilkinson, how are you? And welcome to the live stream.
What's
Welcome
up,
to Wednesday
bro?
nights with those guys. But Herman,
Yeah. So you saying that it's not taking the sticks out your hand, that the DJI FPV.
I'm not going digital, dude.
No,
You
I'm
know what? You know why? You know why? I'm gonna
no,
be honest with you.
I'm saying the actual drone that DJI made.
Yeah. Well, no, they're not. No. I will never go totally FPV.
Because they're like a little autonomous. A lot of their features sometimes kind of takes away from the actual piloting of the drone, especially the
Yes.
GPS.
Hey, Johnny Drone Flyer, how are you? I agree with you because coming from flying a camera drone, I'm looking this way at myself. I should be looking at the camera here. Coming from flying camera drones, and I just posted something from 2018 when I flew up in the Bronx. It was an old video, right? From 2018. And back then I was flying the Mavic Pro. And honestly, from flying a camera drone for so many years, and now I can honestly say I'm going on 2 solid years of flying FPV straight. I will always fly camera drone. I like FPV more than I like camera drone, but camera drones I will always fly because there are just certain shots you cannot get with an FPV bird.
What do you mean?
I mean, now with the DJI FPV bird, you can, because you can switch it out of FPV mode and you want that shot like this behind me. You're zipping around, you're doing loops over the train bridge and stuff like that. You're flying through the columns over my shoulder, at the ends. But you can also stop with that DJI FPV bird and take a picture. Just a heavy quad with floppy control compared to freestyle quads. That's what it. So in other words, you're saying, my heaviest quad, Mike. Night Train is saying the DJI FPV bird is a heavy quad with floppy control compared to freestyle. It's sort of like my heaviest bird is an FR7, okay, and it's heavy. It's this big, and the thing weighs slightly over a pound. I'm gonna say, okay. I'm not going to say where, but slightly over a pound. And I hit speeds. It's a little sloppy, but I understand exactly what you're saying, Night Train, compared to freestyle quads. Freestyle, you can stop on a dime, you can flip on a dime, you can pull back on a dime. I've actually went to hit something, Herman, and ducked with my body. And with my body, I did the same thing with the drone and avoided it.
Really?
I think DJI FPV, you might hit it.
Nah.
The response time.
No.
I don't know. I don't own one, so don't
What
listen
you
to
gotta do
me.
is stop.
My camera, Maddie says my camera drones will be my money makers, and if I get my 107, first of all, stop right fucking there. When you get your 107, not if. After I get my 107. Okay, I thought he was saying if. FPV is going to be my daily fun. Well, see, the objective with anyone who's flying FPV and camera drones is combining the footage. And my problem is, in order for me to do it, Herman, I would have to meet up with you, or you would have to come out here, because I can't carry both bags. I need a valet. I need somebody to carry my shit for me.
Well, what's that got to do with me?
Because usually when I meet with you, you're driving, so I can meet you and carry one backpack, but it's a struggle to carry my FPV backpack and my camera drone backpack.
I'm glad we got a lot of dudes in here and no women with children to hear you say this.
Why? What?
You can't carry around more than one little 2-ounce drone or 1 pound drone.
Dude, my FPV backpack feels like a small fat kid on my back. Okay, my camera drone backpack just feels like a small child. So now, if I were to carry a 7-year-old in this arm and maybe a 10-year-old in this arm, I'd be okay. I don't know. I'm not doing it. If I combine them, I'm gonna bring either the Air 2S.
Okay. So how big is that?
That bag is heavy. The bag is heavy, dude.
The little purse?
No, not that little shit. I have that inside of a backpack with other stuff.
What other stuff is in there?
My tablet, my tablet, the sunshade. What else is in there? Miscellaneous junk.
Tablet holder.
Water, usually a water bottle. Hey, show, what's up?
Okay, the water bottle, that's not necessary for flying. Let's go. Come on.
On to the next story.
No, I'm just trying to help you pack the bag so that way we can put the other stuff, the stuff we would want to carry, into the bag.
Well, you know what I need to do, honestly? I need to
You
get
can
that bag like Tom has.
you can actually put one bag on like in front
One
and
shoulder and
over.
one bag on the other like that. I get it.
No, I was thinking more like one in front and one in back, and then you would just be like those mules that they have,
See,
like
a pack mule, right? No, this is funny because that's how I know it's the weight of a small child. My son, I used to carry him in a harness
uh-huh.
facing me, and then one time I said, you know what? Let me turn him around, and this was really funny because wherever we went, the women were like, "Oh, look at me, so cute!" And this, oh
You
my
had to clean the
goodness.
shirts then, right?
No, I didn't have right. Yeah, that's why. You're right. That's why I turned them around. No shit. I got tired of them burping and throwing up. You take the kid off, and then you got a gurgle stain, milk, moco, which are boogers, or something weird. So I started turning them around. So you know where Cats is on you know where Cats Deli is, right? Before you get on the bridge. Now he used to live on the Lower East Side, across the street from Baroque houses, and what I would do is when I would pick him up for the weekends, I would take him home
Mhm.
and I would walk past Cats. So I would eat. I would stop and get a knish or something from Cats. And the lady would be like, "Oh, let me give him something." I'm like, all he's gonna do is drop it. And she, "No, let me give him a hot dog." I said, "Lady, if you give him the hot dog, you gotta wrap it in a tissue, whatever." So she would give it to him, and it became a regular thing. Every time I walked past, this chick was there, he would get a hot dog, I'd get a knish, and we'd be walking down the street, and even more women. "Oh my God, he's so cute," and all this. So that's how I know that my drone bags is the weight of a small child. Because I used to carry a kid and for my son in front of me is to get a cart with wheels. Dude, Gary, I would love to, but traveling in New York City,
Now here's what we got to do.
what?
What we now have to do is figure out what else in your bag that we can take out, that we can equivalent also add in the weight of a hot dog, so that way we know how much you can.
What's up, Stevie? That's what it is. I have to balance for the hot dog.
Well, no, we
Stevie,
gotta
that's
figure out.
right.
We gotta get the weight good, so that way
You know,
you
you
know
want to know what it is?
know that you're capable
I
of carrying a small child and a hot dog. So now we know that whatever goes
we
into
got to get the weight. We have to get the
that's
weight down to that standard, right?
a small child and a hot dog, and you'll be okay.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's probably what it is. You know what it is? I have the Air 2S MERS that
Mhm.
it comes in, right?
Yeah.
And then I have the tablet and the hood. Now my FPV bag, if I had a professional camera bag, I could probably fit all that stuff. I'm
Really.
pretty sure. Show's laughing at you.
It's, it's, it's just,
At what you said.
yeah, but it's just a tablet and a tablet holder,
Yeah, that's
and not a
yeah.
cable that adds the extra to the bag that you're going to carry. And
Let me see. Let me see. Okay, here.
yeah,
I would have to show you this. Look, I know, but hold on. Let me just show you. It's a lot easier to show you this way than to.
boy, does he sure need how is
Here's
it supposed
both
to come
bags.
out of the water and
Okay, this is the backpack with my tablet, the tablet sunshade, and my Air 2S right here. Right? See how big that is?
you
Now,
sure there isn't a small child in there?
now here's my FPV bag. All right, and I don't even have the birds on the outside. So those
How
two
many
straps
drones are
hold
in
the
it?
drone, and it's what
How many drones are in it?
in this one?
Yeah.
In
No,
this one here,
the FPV bag.
just the Air 2S. There are no drones. It's my goggles. It's
There's
the
no
Osmo.
drones in there. There's just goggles.
There's 250 foot of paracord. There's
Oh, you've been
tools.
around them damn women too long. You carrying too much stuff.
I give up. But this one here, I'm doing curls now doing this
There's
shit.
no drones in the bags yet, and they feel it.
There's a drone in here, the Air 2S.
Yeah.
But the drones don't go inside your PV bag. One goes here, one goes here, and two go here. But I usually carry two or three. So I'll put
Okay.
one here,
So
and one here.
so here's the thing. You could probably carry both of those with no problem.
Yeah, I could. You're right. You're
Yeah.
right. But I don't want to look like I'm homeless. I don't want to look like I'm homeless, dude.
There you go. There you go. See, look at that. Boom. Good to go.
Look, all
There
right.
you go.
Now I might as well have my stick with my lunch bag on me, right?
Right.
Stick with looking like a hobo too. Looking like I'm freaking homeless.
Well, you get to where you're going.
Yo, I'm already sweating holding this shit. I ain't even leave the house. You talk about traveling with it.
You don't want to fly.
I didn't even leave the house, dude, and I'm sitting there about to break a sweat. Not laughing at. Oh no, agreeing. I clarified. Lars doesn't have a toddler rating. He has a hot dog rating. Anyway, that's my dilemma.
That you know what, Lawrence? I gotta admit that is funny. No, but what I was saying now, you might want to invest in like a mini because you can't carry all that stuff.
So the mini's camera can't do what I want it to do.
Oh, sure it can.
Night Train says, I know lots of homeless with drones hanging all over. Gee, thanks, Mike. Listen.
No, but seriously, that
in New York City, I would look homeless.
no,
But
you
they would be
wouldn't.
like,
You just
no,
look like
not with the
traveler.
drones on the side. I'd look like a traveler, right?
Just look like you
Yeah,
traveler.
exactly. He can't defend himself because he has two small children strapped to himself. All I can do is turn and knock him over with the bags.
No,
Turn this way, turn that way.
No, you know what it would look like? Like if you was going to, it would look like you was going to JFK and you wasn't looking to pay for the Uber because you're right there. You could just jump on the train.
See, I'm
Sounds
done
good,
with
right?
you. I'm done with you.
It sounds good.
I'm done. I'm done with you. I'm done.
Or it just looks like a guy going to fly.
Well, yeah, that's just it.
Yeah.
In my new neighborhood.
Nah, but you'll be all right. But what I was saying to you is that, you know, like I was saying, you know, a lot of people talking about that fact that they're supposed to be coming out with those little nano or minis.
Yes, the Autel Nano
in all
Mini.
those different flavors. But now
I know a few people that are going to get them. To be honest, if I did not have the Air 2S, I might have gotten one. But I have the Air 2S. I'm happy with that. Now I still have the if I want a mini, I'll pull out my Mavic Pro.
You know what's funny? I happen to like, you know, I like the Evo, the second one they came out, the second edition of it. I didn't feel a need for the first one. The second one I saw it and I thought it was a nice drone. I was gonna get it. Certain things happened, certain things, you know, came up and ended up with the whole thing with my emails and all of those stuff. I didn't end up getting it. I ended up getting actually this instead when it came out.
You see what Show said? Lawrence's mind is made up. Don't confuse him with facts.
Yeah, I know. I know. But yeah, Lawrence,
I'm set in my ways.
And now we talked about they had some leaked pictures
The leaked information of the Evo 3.
Of a 3. And now I'm
and
hearing about
version.
even more. You know what I mean? Even more talk about it. But that to me was I don't know. I'm curious. Because what I'm hearing is like should be coming up very soon. The release of
On
that.
the
But
28th or something like that, aren't they supposed to be announcing something?
I heard something to that effect. I'm not exactly sure. It's like I've been kind of busy this last week, and that was one of the things that ran by me when I was on the go, and I saw that, and I didn't get a chance to stop and check it out too thoroughly, but yeah, that's what I believe I saw, that the 28th.
Yeah, they are announcing something on the
Mhm.
28th. Whether they're going to have an announcement party for this Ortel Nano Mini,
Right.
Matt says he might be a player on the Ortel.
What
Um,
happened?
Matty's Drone Worlds. Matt
Okay.
says that he might be a player um on the Nano Mini. I'm to be honest, I don't need any more camera drones. I have the Phantom 4 Pro. I have a Mavic Pro.
Another one.
Oh, remember that project that I was working on that I was recording from the basement up
Right.
in town here? Well,
Right.
I've been waiting for them to finally take down the scaffolding, and they're finally starting to take down the scaffolding, and they're working behind the buildings.
So now you got
And
to catch it coming down.
now, well, no, I want to catch it with the scaffold down. They have the scaffold down on one building and they're taking it down on another.
Well,
So
you
I
should
need to get into
catch it
town.
coming down.
Yeah, yeah. Just one shot.
You know what I'm
Because
saying? You should
everything's going to
catch the
transition
scaffold
to
coming
another.
down.
What happened?
You should catch the scaffold coming down.
I do. I have different stages of the scaffold coming down, and now it's down to one building. I need to catch that while this building is exposed now fully. And then once the scaffold's down from that building, I can get a final shot of, hey, M Drones, how are you? Welcome to the live stream. I can get a final shot of both buildings from
Okay.
either side. Because those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, I've been working on a project for about 3 years now, 2.5, almost 3 years, of a 10-acre development that was going up. And I have most of it from the basement up, going up in different positions and different setups and everything, before windows, all of that. And now I've been shooting it with my Mavic Pro, and only with my Mavic Pro. And that's why I need to get back up there. After all, after the UN Council and the rest of the world goes back to they're traveling from, and all these no-fly zones go down, I will definitely be able to catch that footage and finalize this video.
Okay.
I just never thought I would be that consistent with a project. I've always wanted to do it. I've seen it on TV. I'm not even thinking about what kind of music I could use right now. I'm concerned about just finally finishing it off. Hey, Paul Murray, good evening to you, sir. How are you? M
Oh, word.
Drones, thanks for popping in. We appreciate it. Before I make a purchase, I want to see the chessboard set. And by the end of the year, all the pieces will be on the board, possibly. This is true, show.
Happened.
This is true. He's talking in reference to Ortel releasing the Nano, and
Oh,
supposedly Ortel, excuse me, is supposed to be releasing 4 different versions of their Evo 3, which we showed leaks. They're talking more about every day. And then DJI, we haven't even mentioned. A pocket size Evo with a slightly smaller than 1 inch sensor.
mhm.
No, but they have 4, Stevie. They have Evo 3s coming out, and they have 4 different versions. We talked about it, I
Well,
think, on Sunday or the week before. And I'm interested to see, because if Ortel is making a move like that, that's a lot of shipping, and that's you might as well be shitting on your own foot, because you're going to come out with a little drone. Everyone's going to say, I don't want that little shit. I want the big boy. So we don't know if it's true they're coming out with that Evo 3, correct, Herman? No one does.
well, like I said, I don't know. I don't know the
But
inside
people
on
are
it.
talking
I'm not.
about it.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know the inside on it. I'm not privy to that information, but that's the talk that I'm hearing. You know, I'm also hearing that from my, ex dynamics. That they're talking about shipping on the 5th.
See, M Drone says yes, Ortel is coming out. Oh, X Dynamics is shipping their Evo 2 on the 5th?
No, no, no. the 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 Evolve.
Oh, the Evolve 2.
Yeah,
They're gonna
two.
ship. Okay.
Yeah.
X, I was about to say, when do you get the skinny on the X Dynamics? You know somebody somewhere.
It's not a secret. I mean, is it? It's supposed to be shipping starting the 5th.
Not sure about the Evo 3, but definitely a mini and a nano. Exactly. Ortel did
Right. Yeah,
confirm
exactly.
they have the nano mini. That's actually one bird. I don't know. But Evo 3, there were leaks that they had 4 versions. I had a list of all of that stuff. I seem to have gotten rid of it. I'm gonna see if I can pull it up. But the 4 different versions they had, remembering off the top of my head, one was a pro version with a 1 inch
Mhm.
sensor. One was a zoom version with
Well,
the
the
four
pro, I think the
birds of
pro,
something.
no,
I gotta get the specs.
I think the pro version was a Michael Four Thirds,
Yes.
if I'm not mistaken. So
Yes.
you that's what I hear a lot of people asking for. But
Here it is. I got it. I pulled it up. Okay. This is what's supposed to. 4 different versions of Autel Evo 3 are expected to hit the market. First version, Evo 3 Basic with 1 inch sensor, 1 inch CMOS sensor. Second version of the Evo 3, Evo 3 Pro with a 4/3 inch sensor, CMOS, of course. The third version, Evo 3 Zoom with
mhm.
8K, dual camera and 10 times zoom. Dual camera and 10 times zoom. And then the final version, the Evo 3 Super Sense with the 1/4 inch sensor, like your cell phone or like what you're using now, basically.
Right,
A little bit bigger. But
I got you saying.
if they're gonna, I pray like hell they go booyah and just drop all this shit because DJI will have to sit back and say, that's why they weren't putting out nothing. I would like to see it,
But
but
you know what?
like we
Truthfully
said,
speaking,
and hold it 38 to 40 minutes flight time, up to
if they
10
do that,
kilometers.
if they do that, and DJI puts out a 1 inch sensor with that three after this comes out, DJI is
Yeah,
going to be
yeah.
sitting there like, because that's going to hurt them, because everybody's crying for that
Oh,
Michael Four Thirds. Now,
oh,
I'm not
oh,
saying
oh,
that.
hold.
What happened?
No, go ahead, finish. Go ahead and
I'm not
finish.
saying that they're not going to put out a good product, but the competition's on,
Well,
and this is what's good.
M Drone, if you remember the Rhode Island drone meetup that we went to,
Yeah,
M Drone says he's got a good connect. So instead of me typing it in the chat, I was going to put M Drone. Would it happen to be that Autel representative that was at the Rhode Island drone meetup?
no, well,
Because you remember at that meetup, they did have an Autel representative there.
yes.
you know and if that's the skinny, I pray like hell, M Drone, that they are going to release all that stuff. And if they're not going to release it one after another, back to back, boom, come out 3 to 6 months later, boom, another one, 3 to 6 months later, boom. Because to be honest, no drone company ever in the history of drones, including AI, has ever released 5 drones at the same time, or one drone. Oh, he said they didn't show. So who was the dude with the suit and tie on? I thought he was the Autel representative at the
Oh,
meetup.
I
He
don't
says
know.
they didn't Autel didn't show. All
Okay.
right, well, it is what it is. But anyway, guys, you don't please click that like button.
Well, you
And
know what, Lawrence? The first thing we had that came up was remember I told you the story here we had with the drone that located a 72-year-old missing man.
oh,
Well,
this is
after 16 hours, what happened?
no, M Drone is Mark Fisher. I'm sorry, dude.
Oh,
What's
what's
up?
up, Mark?
What's up, Mark, man? Thank you for coming by supporting us. I'm sorry about the story, but I was like, oh shit, I know
How's
M
it
Drone,
going,
but I
Mark?
don't know. Oh, they
I
couldn't
don't
show.
know who he is,
Yes,
but
yes,
yeah,
Pete, thank you.
after 16 hours of this man being missing, The 72-year-old man was found by they said in a field position in thick vegetation by the Pueblo Police Department in Colorado. On September 16th, the police department in Pueblo were made aware of this missing elderly man who had walked away from the Bonaventure of Pueblo, which happens to be an assisted living community for folks who are retired. And they dispatched a drone, and I guess they were able to locate him, like they said, in heavy vegetation.
Another story
of drones
of
doing
drones.
Doing good.
Another story of drones for good. They say after those 16 hours, he was alive, dehydrated, disoriented, and unable to walk at that time. And him being curled up like that was like, look, that was like last minute stuff. I cannot show the actual video here. I can actually share the link to the story, which is what we do on this live stream. We try to make sure we cannot show the video and the story. We can share the link so you guys can check it out. But this is
he was last seen at the facility at 10 p.m. the night before.
Yeah. So no medication, no
medication,
water.
Right? Yeah. So thank God they found it.
Yes, this is true. And this is I'm always pushing drones for good, Like to diverse real quick. Elliot, our mutual friend Elliot. He called me up
I gotta
maybe
give
about
him
a month ago.
back.
Remember the kid was missing in Brooklyn? Somewhere in Brooklyn in a park. And a little boy was missing. He's like, yo, do you know any 107 pilots in this area? And I was like, wow. I know 107 pilots everywhere but where you're asking for. And he was like, yo, we need to find this little boy. He's been missing. He has mental issues and stuff. But before the night was finished, and maybe about 2 hours after he called me about that, I told him try to contact one or two people. But after 2 hours later, he texted me and said that they found the boy. And then they showed it on the news later on that night too. And what did they do? They had a drone up and the infrared. Fortunately, I think one of the police officers happened to have a drone with an infrared. I don't know what drone he had, but they were able to find a little boy that way, or else they would have never found him. So there are always stories. He made sure weather was good for the meetup. Oh, that was the weatherman. My bad. Lawrence, can you always call me for a lost person? Lawrence, you can always call me for Rob C. I got you. I got you on that, definitely. But he was asking me, was there anyone in that area right then and there? I didn't think about someone willing to travel there. But now, hey, Travels with Rosie, thanks for popping in. What I'll do is Rob C, you're on top of the list right there. Anything like that, someone contacts me, I will definitely hit you up. Being that you're also a fireman, etc., you can get in there real quick. But like you said, Herman, it's good that this man was found, and what does it say? The DJI drone discovered the man some 300 yards away from the road, bang, in the middle of the thick. And the police officer that one of the police officers they interviewed, I think he was saying something about how it would have took hundreds and hundreds of people and a lot of hours before they found him.
Yeah, because you got to remember, he was missing he wandered off from 10 o'clock the night before.
Yeah.
So.
And they had no idea.
He was just probably walking and probably got lost.
Blind Neil, how are you? Good evening, sir. Thank you for reminding people to hit that thumbs up. Mr. J's RC. No, I'm not trying to grow a gym stash. Someone called it a Hitler stash, and it's kind of messed up. My mustache, because it's silver on the ends and black in the middle here, and it's.
You know what they got, right?
It's a good thing Herman has a drone in case Lawrence wants us away from home. Gary says. Michael Blades, what's up, man? How was dinner and what was for dinner? I need to invest in a thermal drone. Yes. Mike Fisher,
Yeah.
you're 107. And for those of you, hold on a second. Okay, Tom's not here at the moment. He won't be on Wednesdays because prior engagements. I think he has something work related. But for Tom's tip of the night, we're
Uh-oh.
gonna say if you're a 107, stop it. If you're a 107 pilot, you need to invest in a thermal camera. Seriously, you need to invest in a thermal camera. You have everything to see during the day, but not at night. And that's optimum. That's why
See,
Aviano
it's
Ariel
not
was
just
saying
that. It's
missing
you're
people,
able
hit
to
them up.
you can heat see heat.
Huh?
You can see heat traces from objects in the surface that you can identify the difference between what's on the ground, and you can tell if there's a human there. If you
Yeah,
remember
so
looking at the
seriously,
cameras that they had for the one for the fire department for the Matrice, how you were able to see people beyond the heat from the
right. That
fire.
sensor was so advanced, you could see the fire and you could see
Yeah,
the people
yes,
distinguished. It wasn't like heat source here, blob, and what looks like the shape of people. You see the firemen, their hats, everything, and then you see the fire on their ass though. So, but they were able to tell people that the firemen that the fire is behind them, turn around and hit that spot with water. And Johnny Dronefly says, "I have flashlights." Wow. I got into flying because I wanted to do
that's the
search and
same
rescue,
thing.
but end up going in the other direction and doing commercials. As a 107 pilot, M drone, Mark Fisher, as a 107 pilot, you cover everything. And with that infrared sensor, you'll be able to cover all aspects.
Uh,
To keep in mind, you can also do some inspection work with that infrared in places. Infrastructure stuff
yes,
like,
yeah.
like Herman, right here in New York City. They are about to have an explosion of 107 pilots applying for building inspectors because that mayor that we have, that dude that's always late every place, he passed some or the law or was helping write some law or signed off on some law
Did he?
that is going to add drones to building inspections.
Did he?
After that, you remember the architect that got hit in the head,
Yeah,
that
but I'm
died, the
saying,
woman who
no,
died? Yeah, after
I
that,
remember that, but I'm saying, did he,
people can check.
or is
People
it
can
the
check
guy
this kind of
coming
stuff.
in, the guy that may be coming in behind him, who is actually
Hmm.
pushing for it?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, you're right. You're 100% right. The guy that's coming in behind him is like, hurry up and get the hell out so I can do this, this, and that. But no Hubsons for me. We're like going all over the place here, but I have one thing to say about Hubson. When I've been flying drones for 6 years now, my very first drone was a Hubson.
Right, right,
Hubson has done what they call the stop of death or the orbit of death or if the spiral of death. You would hit a Hubson, you would hit the stop on the Hubson drone, and because it was a fixed camera, it would stop and go like this. Every time you stopped, the camera went like this and the drone went like that. And I see the same thing happening today in
right.
present time
You
with
got to
that Xeno
calibrate the
Mini.
gimbal.
All I'm saying is I'm very disappointed in you, Hubson. I thought for the price that you were offering and the way you were pushing these drones out, that you could have really helped the drone market and people just wanting to get into drones. Because Herman, the reason I brought a Hubson was because it was cheap and people were saying get DJI.
DJR,
And and
DJR.
and I'm going to tell you, I spent a lot of money on Hubson drones, and when I calculate the money that I spent, I could have had two DJI drones.
Okay, I'm just saying that that sounded like when you needed a gimbal calibration.
Yo, their drones were so bad back then. Now you guys can do research. I want you to look this up. And this will show you how long I've been flying drones. The Hubsan
Okay.
H501S. Lawrence, I have a Zinni Mini coming soon, and I will put out a video. Hubsan was my first GPS too. And I'm not saying they're bad drones at all. What I'm saying is, from what I remember and from some of the reviews I'm seeing, I
Mhm.
haven't seen a whole lot of stuff. But I want you guys to look up this here. Hubsan H501,
Mhm.
and then I had that one first, then I had the H501S, and then I had the H501 Advanced, which was just a different controller, and right there, and you'll see what I mean. If you didn't calibrate them right, they would do the
Yeah.
toilet bowl effect. When you didn't calibrate back in the day, when you didn't calibrate a drone and it took off if it didn't have good GPS, it would
Mhm.
be like this. And I've seen the Xeno Mini doing this with satellite fix present day. But back then, the H501 series would do like this. It would start in a small circle and would go like this. And
Mhm.
if you didn't land it before the circle got too bad, 9 times out of 10, it would hit something and dump. I learned how to fly in a Hubsan. I'm not saying they're bad drones, but I would not suggest it as a very first drone to fly.
Mhm.
DJI is going more like Apple. If you want something that is cutting edge but works, get DJI. Want to push the market, go to other brands. Same as mobile phones. And you're 100% right, Travels with Rosie. 100% right. I was looking at Hubsan drones
The
before the
only
DJI
the,
Mavic Mini after just a bit of research, and I went with the Mini. I
the
am in
only
no way
problem
saying
with pushing
what happened.
the only problem with that, with pushing the market, as you call it, is that sometimes you have to end up sacrificing to do that, and then and that and as a consumer, you kind of want your dollar to go the furthest, don't you?
This is true. Now, Travels with Rosie says this is why DJI dominated the enterprise market. Well, now this is why I welcome Autel.
Hmm.
Okay,
Right. That's what I said. You know,
I welcome Autel. I'm not excluding Hubsan.
Autel
Keep in
put the
mind, I'm
work
not
in, and Autel is now doing what we were all complaining and asking for, the competition. So they,
exactly, exactly. You can't have a market with no competition. And right now, Autel, Anafi,
mhm.
X Dynamics. What's the other one? What's the
Well,
other one?
you
Um,
mentioned X Dynamics, and I've been talking about them too, but now I don't want anybody to think in any way, shape, or form are we sponsored by X Dynamics, but they are supposed to be shipping on the 5th. But
is anyone interested in the Evo too? And the only reason I'm asking is because I like those drones. They're just too steep for my pockets.
the well the Evo 2.
I didn't buy it.
Well,
I
this is what
want
I'm
it.
saying to you. They're talking about coming out with a third one, aren't they?
Oh, Mr. JRC says he didn't buy it. He won it. Well, I'm not saying
What?
don't go out there and buy Hubsan Zeno Mini. I'm not saying that
Okay.
because they've already sold thousands. They've probably sold millions. What I'm trying to say is there are different categories for drones. And if you're
Well,
going to teach someone how to fly a drone, I
mhm.
would not suggest it on a Hubsan. That's all I'm saying.
Well. This is the thing, and I will always say this: I'm not going to tell anybody how to have their fun.
Right. Because I
But I,
flew Hubsan when I first started. That was my budget, and you know, and I learned how to fly. When in Rome, you become Roman. It's just like the guy that shows up at the racetrack, Herman. You have everybody, the cars, boom, 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 boom. You got this guy pushing his car off because he doesn't want to waste gas, and his car doesn't have the shiny paint job like everyone, and his car hangs, and if not beats everyone else. That's what Hubson's like. You know, it does what it's supposed to do. Fly, take, hey, third eye view. He says he has an Evo 2 and he loves it.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Adjust the
Everybody that I
aperture and
know
shutter
likes
speed.
it.
You can adjust the aperture and shutter speed, which is exactly what they need to put in more of these drones. DJI.
Everyone that I know likes the drone.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's issues with everybody's product.
Yeah,
You
of
know what I'm saying
course.
to you?
Of course there
DJI
is.
just became the measuring stick for what people expect the drone to operate like.
Sad but true. But we want to segue into the next story, and I'm going to segue in by saying, remember, guys, when I said I was interested in joining Robinhood and stuff like that? And my main issue was there were certain drone companies that were not on the stock market, and now some of them are. So now I'm ready to invest in stock.
Well, don't let them fool you. Because because he's employed by Ehang, he
I
gets stock.
I freaking wish, yo.
He
Stop
gets
it. I
stock
wish.
from Ehang just because he's an employee from when they first started up.
Listen, I was telling people about Ehang for a while, and I didn't have the money, and I know a few people that
See,
invested in it, and
but
they
when
did
you
quite
say
well.
for a while, what's a while?
When I've been talking about Ehang
Yeah, yeah,
over a year, over
over
a
a year.
year, yeah,
When you say like
over a
over a
year.
year, like
Right now they have two versions out. They have the 16 and a larger version. The 16 is the two-seater one they flew, and then they have a four-seater one. Back before back when they were
before
talking about,
before 19, like 2018, 2016.
no, I would say it's all right. I would say maybe in 2020 I was starting to notice Ehang.
That's when you
And
started noticing it.
yeah, seriously.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I'm just asking because you know we've done a lot of stories and they talk about urban air mobility and stuff like that, and you know the talk that most people believe that these things will never come to fruition. You know, and I remember what happened. I remember in the dot-com days when we were booming, going crazy, and everybody was building, and they were doing all this construction here in New York and
Mm-hmm.
dot-com. These things, you know, it was took off, but where are they all now? But who knows, you know? But you know, publicly traded advanced air mobility companies, Lilium and Archer, you know, they joined Joby and what's your company, Ehang, you
Mm-hmm.
know, because you know it's been a big season for the public traded companies because like I told you before, you know, Chinese manufacturer Ehang, you know,
Mm-hmm.
they went public early in the game because
Yes, they did.
they hit the
One of the
NASDAQ
first.
on September 19th, 2019. You know,
Huh. A
this
year before I started following them.
but this year, you know, they got a lot of, you know, company on that list because US based Joby Aviation,
We did a story on them
you
as
know,
well.
they went public last month, you know, commencing trading on New York's stock exchange on August 11th of this
Yep.
year.
Yep. Now,
So,
Joby
you know,
Aviation. Write
and
these names down, people. If you want to invest in stock, I'm not saying sell your house on them, but these are drone companies we've been doing stories on for like the last year and a half. And now they're in the drone game and now they're trading. That's all I'm going to say. Go ahead, Herman. I'm sorry.
you know, and we talked about Lilium, the Lilium jet, and we mentioned that they were going to go public. And German company Lilium started trading on the Nasdaq on September 15th of this year.
Do you have share on?
What happened?
Do you
Yeah,
have sharing on? Because for those of you who don't know, we did a story on
you know,
Lilium. And this
Lilium,
jet, and they were trying to get certification. This was one of the first
right.
jets that was really trying to be passenger. This is a 7-passenger jet right here, but
Well, it has
it's
a seat for a pilot,
yes, of course, and then
and
you
it
have
can
guests.
also be flown autonomously. All of these things can be
Yes,
flown
yes. In
autonomously.
fact, they were doing the autonomous tests when we did this story. But I need to go on to about back here to this part because this part's boring. Because we've shown their test flights. This thing flies and it's sexy as hell. I like it. I like the hell out of it with the mini turbines and stuff. It's a VTOL, but I'll send the
Yeah.
video to you guys so you could watch the whole thing and I'll share the video because this is where they're going. And Lilium has their foot in the door, hard body.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Remember that
Like I said,
Lilium, Joby. Hey, Silly Smooth, what's up, brother? How are you?
they're
They're
trading
doing
right now on the Nasdaq.
yes.
So if you're interested, jump in on that. But also, U.S. based Archer rang the
Yep. We did
opening
stories
bell
on them too.
in New York on September 20th. And that was when they joined the New York Stock Exchange. So they're also, trading publicly. These are all companies that are looking to do drones, but for human transportation.
Right,
So
right. Can I
these
read?
are taxi companies. They all joined Ehang on that list. You know,
You want to
I'm
join the
just curious
panel?
to know where the hell are we
Can
going
I
and what we say.
Can I read an
They're
excerpt
talking
and I'll
about
tell you where we're,
France.
can I just read an excerpt from this story and I'll tell you exactly where we're going because it's good to see we were doing stories on all these companies when they were trying for their
Hmm.
licenses to fly beyond visual line of sight, to fly autonomously. And that drone that I showed, that particular Lilium bird
Hmm.
flies first, flew autonomously. Now, if you want, it can fly autonomously and with a pilot, but it says publicly traded advanced air mobility companies will receive the funds they need to develop, test, and certify vehicles. Lilium, Joby, all these people we were talking about in the last year and a half, they're certified. Next, industries observers
Excuse me.
can expect to see contributing players like unmanned traffic management solutions and infrastructure companies to grow quickly too.
But
So
that's where
now,
those UTMs are going for.
mhm,
Well, you know what? Also, I wanted to bring to your attention, Lawrence, Airbus. They started out with this in 2016,
mhm.
and Airbus has an updated version of
Okay, Stevie, I
the
got you.
huh?
Stevie's coming in.
Okay, of their city Airbus UAM. Yeah, it's a fixed wing electric, VTOL. So
Yes.
it's an
Go ahead.
eVTOL.
I'm listening. I'm just trying to
Yeah,
get
they
this invite
they
real
have big
quick.
plans for it. They said for 2025. So maybe
You
they'll
want
be
to know
maybe
what,
they'll be trading publicly too.
Herman? We've been doing this live stream now slightly over 2 years. Okay. And when we started, we weren't doing these
Oh,
news stories as much as
Airbus is probably is already.
what Airbus was
Yeah.
one of our first, stories that we got into and was like, it's happening now, and now here it is a couple of years later, a year later, and all of this stuff that they were talking about. 2022 is here.
Mhm.
2022 was the target year when you were going to start seeing stuff in the air, they claim, and people were going to start applying for licenses to fly. They're doing testing all over the United States, all over the world. And we did a
Well,
story on Switzerland, who has their own remote ID volunteer network to help make this work worldwide.
the Olympic Games will be in France
Yeah.
the next
Which
sometime
isn't too happy with us right about now.
Well, regardless of that,
We're not going to get political on that.
they plan to have
United,
these
what's good?
drone they
Abajo.
plan to have these drone taxis going over there. in France by the Olympics. So we'll see.
Welcome
Said it-
United, KB
Like I
United.
said, if you guys jump on that stock because you're getting in on the ground floor of some of the shares. Well, it's can't get it any cheaper. You're
Right
never going to get it
now,
any cheaper.
and even more so right now, because there used to be a time that you couldn't even think about investing in stock. But because of the diversity of stocks and technology, you can literally invest $1 today and invest another $1 next week,
Well, you're
another
right.
$1 next week. And
You're right, but it
Tim
was
Jones says
also
his basement is
also you
DJI.
didn't know. You didn't know the
Yeah,
how.
true.
There was
True.
nobody in your circle that was going to teach you the how.
I downloaded the Robinhood app, and that same day, within an hour, every commercial that I saw on Facebook, some games that I were playing on my phone, and randomly, I was starting to see stock companies. There's so many. They want you to invest in companies, and you got to do your homework. I'm not saying go out there and use Robinhood. Don't go out there and use so and so. You have to do your homework because these people charge fees. They're not offering you this shit for free.
Who?
I'm saying there are companies out there that do
Oh,
charge fees. I don't want you to go out there and think everything is, oh, I can buy this stock and do all of this and make money. And not to be political, but taxi drivers in Paris will fight tooth and nail against drone passenger service. You want to know what? I agree with you on that.
I
I
bet they
agree with you
will.
100%. But my issue is I my I'm sorry, I just saw a comment. I posted a video from 2018 and someone left a comment now, which has nothing to do with the video. He goes, I was flying high then on the hemp train. I put out a video saying what were you flying in 2018? Because back then I was flying the Mavic Pro and it came up randomly in my list and I watched the video and I was like, wow. So let me share what I was doing back then. So I put in 2018, what were you flying? He
Okay.
goes, I was flying high on the hemp train. I can't even respond to that. I'm sorry.
But you know what, Lawrence? That we had, and it's funny because we didn't get into it, and we never made a big deal out of it. But we had didn't we have a video? A video that you sent me a video that was shot here in New York at the New York Public Library of a drone flight at the New York Public Library.
I do have that
So the
video,
big
and
cat's
that's the
laying
only
down.
video.
The big
That's
cat.
the only video I do not have loaded, and I'm loading it right now, stalling for time, stalling for time. Keep it moving.
The New York Public Library. There
I
was a
got it.
nice little one-shot
Just
video.
let me set it up. Okay,
Yeah,
I got it. I got it. It's set up.
yeah,
I
it
can
was a
show it while you
one-shot video.
talk.
Sure, one-shot video at the New York Public Library.
It's short, so keep in
Yeah,
mind.
it's not a big deal. It's real short, but it was just surprising that somebody was actually able to get this done.
To fly in New York City.
Right, in
Wait a minute.
uptight city.
I'm supposed to cut the sound off. Hold on a second.
Yeah, you should have, but it's not bad. I mean,
All right, let the hell with it.
you can turn it off.
All right, all right. Where's the
The
sound?
public library. They went.
I'm sorry, I'll start it over, guys, for you
Stop
guys.
the video. Yeah, there we go. Now we know that they weren't flying. What were they flying this with? Did they say? Because
I'm sorry, I was
this.
the fact that they were allowed to do this in New
Yeah,
York
they
City.
came kind of close to those trees.
Yes, they did, but there are a few people that are looking at the drone. This guy right here, he's like, who's flying a drone right now? And they obviously didn't have actors, but those must have been because there's no one in the museum. And during the day, there are people in here. I would not have flown in here either with people, so I'm cool with that. With all this expensive stuff, artifacts and things, Herman,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have wanted people in here either. But it's done very nicely. I will give you the
You gotta
Vimo
mute it.
link. Right, I'll give you the Vimo link to it. They did it this week, Herman.
Uh-huh.
This video was shot this week and posted and wind up
I
going.
know I'm damn sure gonna get the copyright strike.
What happened?
I know I'm damn sure gonna get the copyright strike.
It's on Vimo, not YouTube.
Okay.
Vimo's a completely different people, but unless they posted it on YouTube, I'm saying I hope not, but you shouldn't because it was on Vimo.
All right, we'll see.
All right, now
Yeah.
we did before we go into this story. Can I show this video so they'll know what the hell we're talking about?
Well, I just wanted to bring up one other thing. You know, I was checking this out, right?
Hey, what's up?
It's
What's up, Stevie?
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
What's up, Stevie? You know, you talk about little, toys and stuff like that, and Tom had given us some stuff, and I was checking out some things, and I was like, this, I guess that's how you would pronounce it, the Furby, the F-36, this little guy right here.
Yes.
I don't know exactly what's in the box, but I'm assuming that if the drone is in the box,
right?
It's either this one
or the other one.
This one or this one.
Or the other side, right.
Yeah.
Right.
But I guess it's a little controller in it.
Well,
battery,
you know what?
and
I need to come over there. I need to come over there and open that box up and look at it.
But it's sealed.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we're gonna have to slice that heifer open so we can give. Yeah, open it right now.
Because I want to
pull out the splitter. Pull out the splitter and open that heifer.
Where you got this drone from? Where this came from?
Tom gave it away when we had the barbecue, but so many people left. JSK, what's good?
And I want to give this away to somebody because
Stevie,
we're in September. We're in September. The holidays are coming up, and this will make a good little stocking stuffer.
Yeah, just put a little clear tape. We put it back together.
So hold on, Stevie.
Well, I'm opening it here on screen, and everybody sees it. It was sealed.
Yeah.
And I just want to see like I thought. There's a little controller, right? There's the little green drone there. See?
Okay, good.
Tiny.
I don't want to mess this up.
All right, Tiny Whoop. First time opened here, so now.
Yeah, and on the bottom.
Yes,
yeah,
Mark.
It's the controller, I see.
It's all stuck together. You gotta.
So we're gonna have a giveaway and give away this.
Right,
this
whoever gets it, they can open it, and there's like a little bag with the battery and
some extra props and stuff. Yeah,
that's nice. Got a complete kit.
A little screwdriver thingy. So I don't want to open it up. So anybody?
No, you don't have to.
Used thing. I just want to make sure that everybody saw me open it up here to make sure that that's what was in it.
This is true.
I didn't know what was in it.
100% shots after hours.
What happened?
Yeah. No, I'm just reading the chat. But Stevie, while Herman does that, we can do a Stevie's tips since someone said it. So after you hear the news tone, you give us a tip.
Oh, man.
And then, you know what? Also, Lawrence, for the kids.
Yeah.
There's the shark thingy here.
Oh, good. Does that looks like it has goggles and a drone inside.
Yeah, this one wasn't sealed, but it also,
All right. Travels with Rosie. Thanks for coming through. Go ahead, Herman.
Thank you.
Oh, so that comes with the goggles and the
it has a little set of goggles and
control.
All right, so we're gonna have a couple of giveaways. It's courtesy of Tom. He had gave it. Remember this barbecue we had, Stevie?
Yep.
Well, at the barbecue, Ray Kelly and a bunch of guys, everyone's giving away shirts and slaps and stickers.
Yeah, I donated to the movement myself.
Hey, what's up, Rhode Island drone guy? Right, Stevie gave away stickers. He gave away some shirts.
Yeah.
And Stevie, when I said we had stuff to give away, I'm gonna tell you how it went down, and this may explain why Tom's stuff didn't get into the pile. But I said we have some stuff to give away, some shirts, and I had it all in a brown paper bag. And people said, giveaways? You're giving away what? And they started coming to me. I just dropped the bag and backed away, and they swarmed like bees to honey, man. And they were coming out. They came out, yo, extra large here. They were passing. And when I left, the bag was empty. When they left, the bag was empty, and I forgot to say Tom has stuff to give away too.
Oh man,
because we were going to give stuff away. So now Tom gave it to us after the barbecue, and now we're finally giving it away.
He was scared.
Huh?
After he looked at the paper bag all ripped up.
After they grabbed the bag out your head.
Cars taking off in the parking lot.
Yo.
I agree.
And then people started leaving. But people started leaving. Now, okay, here's your tip. After you hear the news tone, then you can give a tip, all right? Okay. Here's Stevie's tips, guys, for you. Hold on.
All right, here we go. Listen, I just jumped on and I got caught like a deer in the headlights, but let's do one for the winter, because the winter is coming, right? Like they say in Game of Thrones, winter is coming. One thing that I learned was when you take off, do not go away very fast. Bring your drone to a hover. After you get your satellites and everything you usually do, bring your drone to a hover and wait. See how your drone reacts, especially if it's really, really cold. It didn't happen to me, but I know many drone pilots in the winter will, get their satellites, go up and just go flying. And then all of a sudden they'll get these weird warnings and the drone they're clapping already. I didn't even finish. And they have to bring the drones back quickly. They get these, maybe a low battery reading out of nowhere. It's something weird about the temperature and stuff like that. Mainly it was with the Phantoms. I don't know if anybody had the problem with the 2 Pros and the Mavics. I mean, the Mavic line. But I heard many times that people, they just right away go flying over the river or whatever they're going. And all of a sudden they had to do emergency. Oh, look at that. Look how Lawrence just popped up. Oh, there goes Herman. You're duplicating.
I'll be right back, guys.
So that's my tip, man. Let your drone pretty much adapt to the atmosphere and adapt to the environment before you go flying off at full speed to wherever you want to capture.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of that happening before?
Yes.
Acting weird in the winter?
I've heard of it. I've actually seen my drone respond funny. So I've always, from when I started flying the Phantom 3, I've always let it hover a little bit to see how it's going to act, and not take it up a little bit higher and let it sit there for a little bit to see how it's going to act. Because because what I've noticed from back with the Phantom series, the worst, and a lot of guys do it, they do that big wide open calibration.
Right. I
realized that when you do that with like the Phantom series in certain areas,
right,
she'll hover and she'll do this.
Well,
do a little rock motion.
I agree with
that. And if you calibrate it you spin around the drone, but turn the drone in the tight, keeping it in the same spot, but turning it.
Right.
She sits more stable in the GPS location.
Well, Stevie, I wasn't here, but I could hear what you were saying, and I agree 100%. I have seen this happen. Like you said, do not take off. Start your motors, let them run on the ground in the cold, and don't just take off, because if there's any moisture or anything inside, that could be bad for you. But like you said, just by hovering for 10 to 20 seconds, 30 seconds, I usually give myself 30 to 45 seconds to hover. And I may be up above myself, but I will hover there because of the fact in the cold, the motors need to warm up.
Right.
I've seen what happened?
It really shouldn't.
Prop freeze is real. Travels with Rosie says.
What happened?
Yeah, no, I've heard.
Prop freeze is real. Your props will be. That's why you let them spin. Buy hand warmers when you have to fly in the winter. That's also a great tip, Mark Fisher, because not only do you keep hand warmers, that's how I keep my batteries warm when I'm traveling.
Yeah. You
So
put
they
it in
what
your
we
battery,
do
jacket
at
pocket.
least
battery
battery.
warmers right in
here
the
in New
case.
York, right, Stevie?
Yep.
Here in New York, we buy boxes. Went with Herman flying. He stopped at a sporting goods store, and he came out with a box of hand warmers because
When,
we were
yeah.
going to fly.
When I was in New Hampshire during the winter, I had warmers for everything. I had all types of hand warmers and and I just had them in the inside pocket. So they had the body heat and the warmers, but not directly on them, but they were like between, you understand? So my batteries were always in a warm condition before I switched up batteries and run it. Now, you notice if you fly the drones in the summer, they run hot, right?
Mhm.
But in the winter, it's better off. But then the batteries kind of get beat up because the batteries are not as good in the cold weather. So, it's like that you lose that balance. You either get one or the other. But the warmers, the hand warmers is a great tip. We might have to double up on
I
that
just
next time.
throw one in the bag in the case.
Yeah. But your body heat.
Because you have the nano,
warmers.
but Herman has the nano case. So by just throwing one in there, the heat stays in that case.
Exactly. Yeah.
But that is a very good tip. And I think we're going to start having people come on and do that on the regular. They just come up with your own.
The reason why I went straight for that one is that you usually hear all the other ones, right? You hear about the warmers, you hear about all the other stuff, but you don't really hear about that too much. And it's funny because for many years I flew by myself, you know what I mean? And when I started flying with other people, I started hearing these stories that never happened to me, but I heard this in multiple meetups. It wasn't just like one random dude talked about it. I heard this in multiple times that, let the drone hover, let it get used to the air, and you don't know how real cold it is and how it's going to react, and then go on your mission. Because if I heard emergency landings, like the batteries just dump out, like all of a sudden there's reading that the battery is dead, but the battery isn't actually dead. It's just the way it's just so cold or something that nature. I don't know, but I heard multiple stories about that. And ever since I heard that, I always do that. I make sure I get all my satellites. I bring it up, like you said, 20, 30 seconds, look at the screen, look at everything, make sure nothing weird popping up, and then I go.
Stevie, it's funny you say that because this leads me back to Hubson. When you flew a Hubson drone back in the day, no, it's not bad, but back in the day with that Hubson H501S, if you did not calibrate it right, it did the toilet bowl effect. And the toilet bowl effect is bad GPS. If you ever take off, your drone ever takes off and it spins more than a 2-foot radius, land it immediately and recalibrate it.
Right.
Seriously, because a toilet bowl effect, you would take off, Stevie, if you didn't calibrate or there was metal rebarb under where you took off, right. It would say full satellites, but what it would do would take off and it would start leaning like this. 1, 2, and by the third circle, it's already rotated from the point 0, 15 feet out. Then the next spin is 20 feet out. The next spin is 30 until it hits something. And most people don't know what to do.
Yeah, no, see, the thing is with me, I started with a Phantom 4. So it's hard to give another drone a chance. Like when it comes to those drones, they got the crooked horizon and all this other stuff. Why would I want to go backwards at that point? I think that the drones, the DJI set the tone. So, they set the bar so high that I find it hard to invest in other drones and deal with those problems. The more you start hanging out with these communities, you hear these crazy stories, and then you start.
Oh, you're going to hear crazy stories. Hey, Droneography, how are you, man? Thanks for coming into the live stream. But Stevie,
they became the measuring stick.
Yeah, that's true. You don't mind we do another story while you're here, right?
Of course not. Of course not.
Well, okay. Most of these companies we speak about, we spoke about before, but Terrafugia has launched a new drone unit and fixed-wing hybrid VTOL plane.
Yes.
Next generation aviation automotive company, Terrafugia Inc., has a new unit that has thrust them into.
I guess I can share this picture
what happened?
without revealing.
Of the
no,
UAV.
go ahead. I'm trying to share the picture of what their fixed wing looks like.
Yeah, of the UAV activity. You know, this Chimeras brand wastes no time getting into the game, and they have launched this fixed wing hybrid electric electric VTOL that it's called a Seeker. Now it's supposedly designed for automated, but it's also for long hauls, because on the onboard batteries that are on it, it can get up to about 3 hours of flight time out of it.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. But this isn't our first time mentioning Terrafugia.
You know, and it has a top speed of 60 miles per hour. And they say that the 15-foot wingspan can be assembled and broken down in the field in less than 3 minutes. You know, and they have the capability of 10-pound payloads, meaning like the camera that they can put on it.
Yeah.
And they have a camera that has a 30-time optical zoom, but it also has a 120 megapixel high resolution camera for mapping. And they also have applications for LiDAR. So you're talking about this is a big drone.
Yeah.
Well, it's not. Well, I mentioned before, that's not the first time that we talked about Terrafugia. We did this story maybe about 6 months back.
15-foot.
And this was the first version of Terrafugia. And I'd like to know, Stevie, would you buy one in where you live? I'm not going to say where you live, but we did show this. You can purchase this vehicle right here. It takes super, of course, the higher octane. And this gentleman is driving. This is the exact video that I shown before. I'm only showing it from this point because I'll share the rest of the video. But this vehicle, you can get permits to drive it on the street as well. And not only is it a hybrid, but you can buy one. I don't know what the price is for buying one, but this is how the wings come down, and you can actually take her up in the air and fly it. This is the experimental version, but they're selling these.
Yeah.
I think this is more Tom's speed because he likes to be gliding. He got his friends out in Nevada, whatever. he go fly around on a Wednesday, but
it's called a U car.
I find it hard to trust all these things.
But look at it.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you this though. As far as that thing is concerned, it has gotten the certification that a lot of companies are still trying to get.
Yes, Stevie.
I can see Mark Fisher going live from that thing on Facebook. Flying over Rhode Island.
Could you imagine? But here's the video.
See, I want one. I knew he was going to say that.
No, but you see the video that I sent you with the link for the information, Lawrence?
What happened?
The video that's on the link on the information that I sent you with it. That video?
Yeah, there's a video right here. Hold on. It's in the middle of the screen you're talking about.
I believe so.
Hold on. I only way you can see it is if I show it, right? This video here? This video?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's watch it because I did not.
Oh, you didn't see this video?
No. Because I'm an idiot. I went online.
So now you can see.
Okay.
The Seeker.
All right. Yo, that shit is badass.
That looks pretty cool. It's like I've never seen them that small. They're usually big, right?
No,
like I never seen.
That's the Seeker.
This thing, it looks big here, but it's not.
It's not actually that big.
It's not. There it is, right there. Hold it. I have to go back. Hold on. I have to move this thing out of the way so I can close this. But I need to go back and look and see right here. There's the size of it.
It's not.
That's
I mean, it is
that's
big,
pretty
but it's not that
That's
big
pretty badass. Could you
in
imagine?
comparison to
That's
stuff
big.
that you guys be
Stevie,
highlighting.
you,
Yeah.
me, or Herman saying, let's go flying. And we
Dude, I
pull this
fly a
sucker
Phantom
out,
4 Pro. That's a big drone.
That is a
and
big.
you pull this sucker out there and,
But
and fly.
a lot of these UAVs of that style are usually a lot bigger. Like a lot of
Yeah,
stuff
they
you
are.
guys cover
They
on the
are.
show, they're a
You're
lot
right
bigger.
about that.
Again, technology.
But here's the link.
Big
Here's
starting
the
to get
link to
smaller.
that video of the Seeker.
You know what? I'm going to tell you, and this is what's crazy. You see that drone like that, Lawrence? You pull that out in the park. I don't care if it's at Calvert. The police are coming.
Go to Flushing. Go to Flushing with that little thing.
They're coming over there too, especially over there.
Yeah, right. The next to right at Flushing,
No,
so
but
close to the airport. They'd be like, "What the hell are you trying to do? Start an air fleet?"
That's
Delta
not
on it. They
That's
won't
not for flying. That's not for hanging out and flying with the guys on the
No.
weekend.
No, but it is
That's-
pretty cool.
That's for doing
Yeah.
major work.
Yeah,
you
I
know?
put the link there. You have to look at it
I would
because
like to fly it though.
Right?
that's exactly hell yeah. Like
60
to fly.
miles
I'd
an
like to
hour.
listen. I'd like to
It
pull
can
a
be up
case
there
out of
3
out of-
hours.
Herman.
Wow. 3
I
hours.
pull a case out of the pickup truck, set up a barbecue, and take that heifer flying. Okay, and by the time I'm done with that 3 hour battery, everyone would know what the hell that thing is.
3 hours.
Some cool cinematics going on the bridges and all that.
Man, yeah. I could imagine. I could see a police officer now. Okay, buddy, land the thing. That's
What's the
just too
range?
damn.
3 hours, you could get far, right? But what's the range on it? And what do you need to keep
It's for
that,
they're
transmission
for
going?
long range delivery. BVLOS.
Well,
You
I'll
don't have to
take
do all
off
this
from your
thing.
driveway and we'll be good.
Yeah, you can take off in Westchester and cruise Upper Bronx. Okay,
No, I'm talking
Easy.
to Paul Murray.
easy, Stevie.
Paul Murray.
Yeah.
Paul Murray, over 55
pounds?
pounds, you would have to have special permits. It
Right.
is below 55 pounds. But
Is
well,
it?
I need to confirm. Hold on. We will confirm that.
Paul Murray,
What's-
he could get
Because I didn't
those
see.
those raccoons and he could ship them out of his neighborhood.
Uh,
He'd be catching the raccoons in his basement.
If it is over 55 pounds, yeah, he might be able to just drag them out.
He could just
Yes.
ship them
Well,
to the next town over and drop them off.
Rob C says I would need a pickup truck for that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
definitely.
Nah, it'll fit
I
in
would
your
buy a
truck.
truck.
It'll fit.
I'd buy a pickup truck
That
for
would
it
fit in your
to
truck.
cover. Listen, when I pull up to floodlights,
The
one
wings,
guy's
the
gonna get
wings
out.
come off. You can
Herman.
take it apart and put it together within
Herman,
3 minutes. They
when I-
said.
When I pull up with that thing, two guys are gonna get out the back of the truck and open the back of the truck and set up two floodlights. Another guy's gonna pull it out on a sliding tray, and then I'm gonna open the case and go. Psh. You're gonna hear the airlock and everything. Psh.
I already told you, Lawrence. My goal.
A lot of 80s movies
I
here.
told you.
A lot of 80s.
Hey, Lake Pilot, how are you?
Lawrence,
Welcome.
I already
to-
told you. My goal is to get out the car, talk to a few people.
Lawrence,
Somebody's bringing my stuff out the car.
Right, and
setting
the
it up,
cameraman
and I'm
showing
like,
you.
I'll be hitting the
You
air.
ready? Okay, let's go.
I'll be hitting the air with the fog machine, so we get that effect.
See, word.
At a
You
drone
have the fan blowing with this fog blowing behind you.
We'll film everything in 120 frames so we can slow it down before we put it on YouTube. The smoke is
Right,
going
when you get out
by.
of the car.
Speaking
That's what
about
I'm talking
120 frames, did you know
I'm throwing to the mic.
that the
Mark
X
says
Dynamics
get a
is
roof
supposed
rack.
to shoot 4K at 120 frames per second?
Oh, that's gonna be sweet. That would be sweet. As long as they keep the quality at that frame rate,
Stevie,
that would be sweet.
you're 107 pilot. I want to ask you a serious question. After just hearing
It's supposed to
that
have
the X
pros.
Dynamic is going to shoot 4K at 120 frames per second, and you had the opportunity to go on vacation with the family or buy that drone, what would you do?
Damn, you put me on the spot because we live.
Dun, dun,
Not a
dun.
private. This ain't FaceTime me and you just talking. you put me on blast with the world. Like people could play this back. I say the family wins.
You pass.
Call me after this, though. We'll talk. Nah.
Good answer, Stevie. Good answer. Very good answer. I applaud you on that one on answering under pressure.
Yeah.
I
First, you
just
hit me
got
with
the
the
book of
Stevie
death. I'm
tip
getting
time,
a
and then
little
you put
loud
me on the
here.
spot.
No. But seriously,
Yeah.
that X Dynamics.
It's gonna be a dope
If I had it,
as that
I would get it.
set up. And it's
Just because of the 4K at 120 frames, I wouldn't know how to act. Could
oh,
you
look,
imagine the
great,
slow? Could
great.
you
Oh,
imagine the speed ramps with that?
yeah, Herman, look at the way he wrote in the chat.
Who did? Oh, and
Drake.
he found out Ford with the drone
Herman
deployment
thinking
from the Trump
about
pick.
quick setup. Talking about a quick
Just
setup.
talking about quick
40
setup.
minutes to
40
get his
minutes
tandem
just
up.
to, I know, right? Could you imagine?
Well,
You know what I mean?
well,
They go.
well, see, here's the thing.
You're
Here's the
right,
thing.
Herman.
Uh-oh.
Oh no, Herman would have someone setting it up before you got there.
when you talk to people who believe in such things,
Hey, Philip, how are you?
you're not
Welcome
going to
to the
sell them
stream.
what satisfies you. You're going to sell them what satisfies them.
True.
So why would I sell somebody my setup when that's not what they're interested in? They might be interested in being able to set up in 2 seconds, and then when they're up, they're like, "Damn, I forgot." Yeah, I bet you did. But
Yeah. This is true. Hey, what's up,
I had
Rob?
my moments of, "Damn, I forgot."
Hey, Rob's here, feet on the ground from Australia. What's up,
On the
Rob?
ground.
You
What's
and
up,
Sue,
Rob?
good morning. Good morning. Those of you who don't realize, we're actually the morning show in Australia.
Good morning.
Well,
Okay.
Tim Jackson, he's over there too, right?
Is it
We used
top
to
of the
catch
morning?
him
Tim.
going to work.
Tim
You see
Jackson.
M drone? Haha, here comes KRS-One.
You know
The
what?
sound of the
My
police.
philosophy.
You know what? Don't make me have to come up to Rhode Island. But I actually do want to come back up there.
Yeah, Mark Fisher, listen closely.
Don't don't listen to him. We do actually need to get back
Wow.
out there
Wow.
You guys are freaking hilarious.
when that fall weather sets in.
Oh yeah. But they
So,
get it early, right? Because we like mid-October around there.
Yes, they do get it.
You
They
might
do
you
get
might
it a
want to
lot
go up there
earlier than
soon.
us.
Yeah.
well, what I'm saying is we just gotta get a day and go. I just can't
Yes, we want to come up there. We
go
want to come
right
back up there, and we need to let you know we're coming through, so we don't run into any problems.
now. I
Nothing like,
mean,
hey, those New
I really
Yorkers
don't want
came
to
back
go
up
up
here.
there. I really don't want to go up there, Stevie, and start, get up there early and start shooting all day and then turn around and drive back with all that traffic,
Yeah, that's really hard to do.
especially when you're the
Especially,
only one driving.
yeah, it is. I
Oh,
feel
another
for you.
sad.
I feel so bad for you.
Really, you never offered to take the wheel.
Yeah. It's the funniest show ever.
Mark said,
Yeah.
"Let's do it." Mark says, "Let's do it."
Oh man.
Like, yeah, you good? Because I got to get home.
He passed you the Red Bull. That's it.
Yeah,
Drive.
yeah.
He didn't help you drive.
Even,
Stay
You
in.
know what I'm saying?
Be
Hold
alert,
on, let
bro.
me put some,
Be alert.
tape on your eyelids so it stay open.
Some tape and a Red Bull. You
Well,
load it up.
Steve, think about it. We drove all the way from up there that Sunday morning. Well, Herman drove
Yeah, we go.
to
There we
5
go.
hours, to 5 hours,
He
and
said,
then we had a live
French?
stream.
You French, Lawrence? Where you coming from? Herman's like, hold up.
All right, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done
Listen,
with both
I
of you.
wanted to go so bad. I had a family function it was like a surprise, one of the surprise a family member. And we had
Hey,
it
Mark.
lined up like 2 weeks before that, and it didn't work out. So it ended up landing on that same day. And that's why I missed the Rhode Island thing, man. I wanted to go.
Okay.
But I'm glad you guys went. I saw the pictures, the video, everything looked great. All the YouTubes were great. It just looked like a blast. So next time they do something, I'll make sure
You know
that
what I'm working
I'll
on?
make it out.
Fall foliage,
I
Stevie.
really
That's all I gotta
believe,
say.
Stevie, I don't think we've fully recovered from COVID yet. And I look at some of the footage that I have and I'm like, the things that we did before COVID, the amount of footage that I have now, I'm putting together a video for the showing the stuff that I did through the summer.
Right.
You know, not bad, but we still feeling the effects of COVID.
Like, meaning like
Traveling,
you haven't been
we
able to
didn't
get
go.
as much.
I didn't go much places. Even though I did get to go somewhere.
Hey, Mark Fisher, I sent you a DM. Only respond to that.
Man, listen, I could lay low for a couple of months and I'll have so much footage. I could coast through it as far as content wise.
Right.
Because most of the time when I do release stuff, it's not that long. But meanwhile, when I'm at a drone session with you guys or whoever, I'm buying like 3-4 batteries, you know? Mm-hmm. And then you go to my YouTube videos and they're like 2 minutes long. And like out of the 2 minutes, maybe a minute of that I'm talking myself. so I got so much footage that like I said, I can lay low, you know, and still push out videos and just come up with a way of introducing it. You know what I mean? I've been flying a lot lately and I haven't had the time to even look at it. Like I'll dump it out in the computer just so I don't be flying around with extra footage, you know, just in case something happened. I don't want to lose the good stuff, you know, from the card. But to edit, man, it you know, you got to find the time. And I've told you guys before, I usually edit when everybody passes out in my house.
Yeah, me too.
You know
I can't edit. I can't edit when the family's awake. I cannot. Like somebody's gonna come over and ask me something or whatever, you know, like, and then I forget where I was at, and I gotta kind of reset.
You know what my problem is, Stevie? My problem is I cannot edit with this phone in front of me.
Oh, the phone's a huge distraction.
And between the alerts that I get on my computer, because
I'll
be like, oh, Stevie posted a picture, and then I click on that, and I click like or comment, and then it's like, oh, I didn't see this comment, and then someone starts talking, and you're like, wait a minute, half hour later, you could have been editing, but a half hour later, you're responding to text. So now I just take my phone and I leave it on the other side of the room. It's hard to edit.
And I tell you, like that goes for everything, man. That phone will take so much time in life.
Rhode Island drone guy, we come back up there. You're gonna know because you come to the live streams. You're also a supporter, which I'd like to thank you all continuously and over again for always supporting those guys and everything we do.
Lawrence, I definitely have to hit that area where we were by those cliffs again.
Those cliffs, Stevie, FPV.
This is why I said to you,
FPV, Stevie, you would do it.
Be a situation where we might end up sacrificing Sunday show.
Oh, wow.
Just to fly.
Stevie, yes.
Yeah.
Because I might Stevie. Go up there and stay.
I have 8 FPV drones. 3 of them are cruisers. I would use one of the cruisers and bring at least 2 or 3 of my FPV drones, freestyle drones, and I'm willing to lose one for that footage. That's how bad this place is.
I'm honestly looking into getting another FPV drone because I know it's going to be a while before they come out with like a FPV2 out of DJI. Mm-hmm. But I'm looking into, because you know how I move. I'm always moving around. I'm always traveling, and I would hate to smack that drone up and then get stuck and not have a drone. So I was thinking about buying a backup, like
from just your words,
you know, and just have it there. You know what I mean? Because I can't tell you how many close calls I had. I mean, I had a close call the last time I was with you guys. I banged that quick right and almost hit the whole bridge.
You showed me the footage.
How you almost hit the whole bridge?
Yeah, Phil. Yeah, I can only imagine.
Herman, he said, look at this. He said, look at this footage. And he showed me, and he came around, did this flip, and the bridge was like, bam, bam, bam. I was like, I fly FPV. And I was like, whoa.
Yeah, I did.
I was like, whoa.
80-mile-per-hour right turn.
To a dead stop.
And I thought I was going to go under the bridge, but I ended up lining up exactly with the bridge. Like, so when I came in that turn was so quick and you don't see anything. And all of a sudden the bridge is there. And I had to do a quick dip towards the water. And I just made it. You could see the bolts and the beams and everything underneath the bridge.
Listen, after watching that, I did tell you almost fucked up, right?
Yeah. Just recently, I almost went into a guy's tire when I was doing a drift scene. I was chasing the
See
drift
what
ball,
Matty put? He
and
said
I
get a
was
5 inch. Matty says get a 5 inch, but I want to make this my prediction. And today it's 6:39 p.m. Eastern Standard Time,
logged it in.
922,
He logged.
922, 2021. This is my prediction right here. I don't know when, and I hope it's soon, but DJI is going to come out with a carbon fiber frame itself.
That
And
I
once it
agree.
does that,
What's up, Cool
once they
Vic?
do that, it's a wrap.
I agree that the number one complaint. I know
Oh,
people
Vic,
complain
what's
about
up, Ray?
I know some people complain about the camera and all this stuff, but the number one complaint is
See what he
that
said
that
about
drone
the
is made out of
It's
cheap
plastic.
Yeah, it's like a
It's
little plastic.
plastic.
For a drone that goes that fast, on the low end in sports mode, you're doing like 60 plus miles per hour.
Stevie, can I say something?
So,
The reason it's made of plastic is because at that speed, traveling with that drone and that frame, anything you hit, it's going to explode on impact.
See what Ray said?
Huh?
I
What did
would
Ray put?
Check your IMU.
IMU. Yeah,
IMU in the cold weather.
that's yes.
Calibrated. Well, it should calibrate in the cold.
Case in point,
I-
North Carolina.
in the winter, I do the little dance, especially with the Phantoms. I
Oh,
got my
the IMU.
for Pro. Oh, the IMU. Okay. I
Yeah,
thought you talked about doing the little dance to calibrate.
because it's got to calibrate each time you turn the drone on.
Mm-hmm.
It does it on its own, but it's best to do it originally.
Well, see, someone in the chat said that Third Eye View says that he calibrates his drone every time he goes up. And I learned that I don't do it now, which I should go back to, but I learned that with Hubson. Before you before you got off the ground, you better freaking calibrate that drone. Okay, Philip says he uses Filmora. I use the same thing. I'm on Filmora 10.
Right, Maddie.
Okay.
Using
Right, Maddie.
Filmora 10.
I hope you guys are right, because I think that's the number one.
Ulbeck is right. I agree.
Yeah, a carbon fiber with the technology they have in these drones. The only reason why my drone is in one piece right now is all the tech that it has, and some very little
Yes.
piloting skills, because I ducked the bridge. I didn't press the
No,
emergency button.
no, Stevie.
But
What about
Because
the
you're-
rubber bumpers and all that?
I don't
stuff
agree.
you got on it?
I don't agree with that, Stevie. A lot of it has to do with the fact you've been flying for so many years as well.
yeah, I kind of have like that thing. But I tell you,
That's that
chasing the
9
drift
lives
cars-
that drone pilots have.
Yeah.
Yo, Lawrence,
You used one that day, though.
Lawrence, Stevie's
eight.
MPV drone is like this big because of all the rubber on it.
I wrapped it in a big foam bubble.
Hold on, we got another story we could do.
Yeah.
Sure we
Unless
do.
you want to show,
Oh, we
the
do
one
have a
side.
story here because
Yeah.
U.S. service provide U.S. UAS service provider. Gotta lay off the stuff.
Laughter is contagious.
Yeah. Teaching drone piloting rules and fleet management to new users. Rocky Mountain Unmanned Systems, right?
Offering
Now-
a course.
Huh?
They're offering a course.
Well, we all know that, the increase of drone, operators, whether it be individuals or organizations that have drone pilots out there flying, but it's increasing every day, seems like. So what
We hear you, Ray.
Rocky Mountain Unmanned Systems is doing is it's nothing new. They're doing what everyone else. There's a few other companies that are doing it, but they're offering, a range of online courses teaching drone piloting techniques and preparing to pass certification tests.
Drone, have a good night,
So-
bro.
Rocky Mountain Unmanned Systems has an array of drone piloting courses from basic, introduction to UAS to specialized tutoring on the capacity and operations of specific enterprise crafts. So basically, they'll teach you how to fly the drone that you have better than you use the drone that you have better. So it's basically
Right.
the same as like a few other people we mentioned, like what was we talked about the company, drone responders. Same thing with them.
But you could have kept on reading that paragraph because it
also
goes. Go ahead.
What happened?
I know. I was saying you could have finished reading that paragraph because they're teaching these guys.
Yeah, they're teaching new pilots basically, in techniques and regulations, and basically want to get them past the 107, but also
$50
specialize in different commercial aspects of flying a drone. So it's a good thing I saw it was.
Well, I wanted to stress that part that you just read because an introduction module teaching drone pilots runs $49 and is designed to permit students to master an efficient flight and pass their 107 exam for $50.
Right, that's what I was saying.
And I think
I didn't give the price of the course, but
Well, yeah, that's minus the price of the course, but $50 to learn everything that they're offering, I think is a good deal. I mean, right now you can't learn how to pass your 107 for less than for $50 anywhere.
New pilots are also given, an intense proficiency in UAS training with the particular emphasis in commercial UAS operations, including basic flight. So they, like I said, they have they word it up pretty good and make it sound great. And
Right.
like I said, drone responders are kind of doing the same thing. Or you can get out there and do it, the way we did it, and take your lumps and figure out how the drone works and learn it on your own, and take advice from others that are out there doing it.
Yeah, I took a lot of lumps on my own.
What to do when you first get your drone, because I was at Calvert many a days right on the baseball field, because I wasn't flying over the water. I was doing my boxes and my figure eights, and
yeah,
then you turn the drone around and do the same thing after you figure it out. And shoot, those times like 100 feet was high in the sky, boy.
No, but a lot of us purchase these drones, and that's the first thing we do, kind of go high, like, oh wow, this thing goes high.
100 feet was high.
I tell you, I was brave. I was over the Hudson like the first few days, because matter of fact, my first flight is over the Hudson. My very, very first flight over the Hudson. I think I was like in Peekskill or something like that in Westchester County. And I went up, and I don't know. I just had I'm one of those people that read up on stuff like crazy. OD reading up on stuff. So I started reading up on the drone that I purchased, and I was just like, wow, these things, they hooked up to satellites and all this stuff, So I was very, very optimistic about flying over water. Like, I just felt like it was safe from what I read. Everything was safe, and I took a chance. Because back then, I don't even think they had care refresh or anything like that. It was like, if you lost the drone, you start over,
No, you're absolutely right. But it's the one thing that I've realized when, like everybody talks about family and how family treats them. And the reason why that happens is that family's seen you at your best and they've seen you at your worst. And they know when you're going to do certain things, that they know certain expectations of you. And sometimes you have to have it of yourself. And after I bought that drone, I said to myself, you've seen videos of them up over the water. Are you ready to take it up over the water?
Right. Well, I was discussing
over the baseball field.
I never worried about that.
Yeah,
I never worried about that because I was dumb and they didn't know any better.
But you see, here's the thing.
And I've had a drone splash down in water. You remember, Herman?
No, but you had it splash down in water after you were already out there flying.
True.
I'm not taking it out over the water until I've learned what it is that I'm doing. Because I know what it is. I know what the cost was to get it.
Yeah.
So it's,
like I said, I was in retrospect, I kind of like more conservative now, but in the end, I fly differently now. I think back then I was a
Experience
little
is the
more,
best teacher.
I was a little more, like I said, I relied on the tech, and eventually it
Hey,
caught up.
Newfound.
Eventually it caught up with me, but it wasn't because I was being overly brave. I always had some sense when it came to that stuff. I was actually
Right.
flying low over water, and I was getting distracted by these people. They seemed like they were going to get into it, and they were right behind me. They were very close to me, and I
Philip,
was just
thanks
talking
for
about
coming
this
in.
on another show yesterday. How
All right, Philip.
back in I don't know if you remember, but the Phantoms, they had this history of losing altitude when you're going straight
Over
back.
water, the sensors, before they went to sonic
You
sensors,
said
I
going
think
what?
that's what the issue was. But they've always had an issue over
It-
water because the
yeah,
distance is always changing.
it would dip, like no matter what you do, you had to
Hey,
bring it
Bob
up.
Casey.
And I was doing like a cinematic reveal, reverse reveal, right? And it was like a
Yeah.
train bridge there, and it looked amazing. The Hudson was mostly frozen,
Uh-huh.
and there was a photographer with his tripod set up taking pictures of the view. It was a really nice location. And then another guy came with his kid, like an older kid, maybe 13, 14. And as the guy is taking pictures, the kid goes and starts breaking the ice in front of where the guy is taking pictures of the ice. Like he's going to like the coastline and breaking the ice. And then the photographer starts arguing with the kid, and then the father gets involved.
Mhm.
Meanwhile, I'm flying the Phantom with my back behind to them. And I'm, this is before line of sight was a thing. I was just having a line of sight so I could, get the shot. And I'm like kind of looking back, and I'm flying. And for 1 minute, I just thought that they were about to go at it. And I wanted to kind of step away. And it was kind of like, it was slippery because of snow, it was ice. So I kind of went to step, and the drone sunk. It was so low that it dipped. I had my hand on the thing. It was like a big mistake on my end. It wasn't DJI at all, But on the other side of that, I have friends with boats and stuff. I'm thinking about making a video and trying to recover that drone like many years later. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that would be cool if I could find it.
Well, you know where it is, and you're hoping
I
that
know
it's
where
in
it's
that
sunk
spot.
in the general area, but the thing is undercurrent, and it's more like it's not in the Hudson, but it's like it's one
You
of
have a
those.
general area
Hudson?
that's good.
It pulled. It's like one of those creeks that come out of the Hudson. You know
In
what
the
I'm saying?
Hudson?
It's off the Hudson, but it's like a small body of water that comes off the Hudson. So I know where it is.
'Cause I was
I
gonna
think with the
say,
current, it might have moved
You
around a
see,
little bit.
you see what recovery one Draymond put? Change of direction, motor spinning, reverse, drop in altitude.
Yeah, they known for it. Yeah, they're known for it.
Well,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
just that, but not even also, Draymond, I want to point out, not just change in direction, but I fly along the water out here, along the ocean a lot. And I've noticed cruising over the water at one altitude, you have to trust your telemetry. People are like, how do you trust going out over the water? You have to trust your telemetry like you trust your car to take you from point A to point B.
and you
Because
hoping
if you
that
think
it's telling
about
you
catching a flat tire,
the
if you
right
think about
altitude,
catching a, what happened?
and you're hoping that you're at the right altitude.
Right, because your altitude will fluctuate. Water is never level. It's continuously moving. And flying
Right.
in New York over the water, you learn that. But there are times, not when I'm turning, but I'm cruising straight and she's slowly dropping, slowly rising. And you need to pay attention to that altitude flying over water.
Yeah, I've noticed that a lot. It doesn't matter what
You
altitude
know,
you're
and
at
and
anyway.
that's what
with that.
DJI drones, which seem to have the best sensors out there so far. I mean, I'm sure there are better sensors out there other than DJI, but right now, I
More than
trust
likely, they're
DJI.
all getting them from the same place.
Yeah, of course, of course.
It's what you
Of
do
course,
with
the
them.
same thing with the sensors for the Skydio 2 and all of that. All that's the same tech. It's just in a different bird and a different look. If you saw the story
Well,
that we did, Stevie,
NVIDIA
or
is the
Ortel Evo,
brains in
they
that
have supposedly
process.
fisheye lenses now,
Uh-huh.
just like the Skydio. The Skydio has a fisheye lens because this fisheye lens can give you anywhere from, I think, 170 degrees to maybe a little higher than that. But the fisheye lens allows that sensor to see more than that hollow tube lens than DJI is using.
Right.
So I expect and I pray for my words to DJI's ears for DJI to come out with a bird with fisheye sensors. They've perfected those little hidden sensors, and it's great and very smart because your sensors on your DJI drones, stuff can blow past it, the wind, they can't be touched. Those fisheye sensors at some time and point can become obstructed. They're not supposed to. But you understand what I'm saying, Herman?
Oh, you're right. Because
and
it's
Stevie?
We see how
Right.
we see
but
how
it's
great
just
they
the
are.
dome over. It's just the dome over the. It's the sensor.
Thanks, Raymond.
It's
Well,
almost like what you're saying, Herman, is almost like a reflective thing. Like the sensor is bouncing off the fisheye of the lens and giving that coverage instead of a straight coverage in front of it is bubbling out to get a wider circumference.
Bob Casey's funny. He says my altitude is 5 to 10 feet cushion. Above the water, to be honest, since I've been flying FPV, and I have flown 3 feet above the water, but I'm going to let you know something right now. While flying 3 feet above the water, there were also waves coming at me at about 3 to 4 feet from the side, and I was flying away from it. Hey, Mr. Crawley and his drone.
Yeah, the water.
These are things that you learn. These are things that you learn.
The water is more of an advanced thing. I've chased jet skis and boats on the Hudson, and it's an advanced. I think
you don't see many people cruising above the water at 3 to 5 feet.
You can't. I've flown crazy low, especially now with the DJI FPV. Trying to get a decent shot and not be so far that you can't even tell it's a boat. You know what I mean? So and it's a challenge. I'm more brave on land because I know I'm going to recover that drone and I get my new one. So like if you see me chasing boats in my videos, right, you could tell the difference when you see me chasing cars drifting. When I'm chasing a car drifting, I could be 5-6 inches from the ground. Like sometimes I'm so low you can see the pebbles,
Right.
But I know that if I mess up and I just do something wrong, that drone, is going to get destroyed. It's going to flip over 100 times before it stops. But I could just walk. We already have a system set up that they stop and they recover the track officials recover the drone, and I send it out. But when you're chasing a jet ski, and that wave takes
that thing spits water up to. Did you know this?
Explain that to DJI and hope they have mercy on your soul.
Can I give you a fact about jet skis? Depending on what jet ski it is, that little plume of water that shoots out from the back?
I know it very well.
That plume of water can shoot as high as 50, 60 feet in the air above the jet ski.
Shit. I know it goes high.
There.
I know that high.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that water could be the end of you because it's a solid stream that just shoots. There's a lot of factors. And the boats, like if you're chasing one boat, and usually like in a busy, like our city, usually when the boats are out on the weekends, there's other boats and they create these wakes. And those wakes are what you got to worry about. So another boat can make a wake. Now you're riding the wake of that boat that you're chasing. There's a lot of factors that could become an issue when you're flying over water.
Right.
That's why I say it's a more of an advanced thing to be chasing boats at low altitude with a drone. I wouldn't recommend it for anybody that's if you're questioning your skills, then don't do it.
So check this out.
I'm here.
You know how we always have these one-shot FPV videos?
Yeah, after the bowling alley, it was just like
we got another one-shot FPV video that was shot inside the CBC election night. Yeah, inside the new studio in Canada.
In Canada, brand new building / studio, all of the above.
On election night.
Go ahead.
This was shot inside the new studio on election night. Somebody had set this up to do a one shot. Wow. But they got it the ability to go inside and shoot. This is during the election coverage of I guess I don't know what election they were having, but I just found a video.
Totally Canadian, and I love the fact that this guy almost messes up, Stevie. Here we go. 1, 2, no, not here. Coming up right here, right here. 1, 2, and that looked like a cut scene. But other than that, I like how it was done. And Stevie, I'm going to need your help with this because I'm hiring you as to help me out with this. But Herman says we should do a one-shot take. He says I should do a one-shot take, but I'm hiring you to help me out do it.
I can help you out, but I wanted to see if you play a video. I did a one shot. It was a studio apartment in Manhattan.
Send me the link in Messenger.
And I flew it in the window and out the front door of a studio apartment.
Okay.
And that was it. It's about 8 seconds.
Send me the link on Messenger.
No, I'm kidding. I didn't do that.
No, seriously. I was talking
Corey
studio
Mano.
apartment in Manhattan.
Hold on. Corey Mano says it was a federal election that was going
okay.
on. I have the pilot details and photo of it in action. Okay.
Well, hey, hold on. Stop the show. Stop the show. Angie's here.
Angie,
What's
how
going
are
on?
you?
Hey, what's up?
Yes, we're doing fine. Corey sent a photo.
The show can
Corey
continue.
Mano sent a photo of the guy.
He's
the
here.
pilot.
Show.
Hold on, I'm going to share it right now. He just sent it. Thank you, Corey Mano. Which, by the way, because of Corey Mano, I have sound effects. So
Thank
I'm
you,
always
Corey,
going to put
'cause,
it out there. Here we go.
He was
This is
killing
the actual
himself.
pilot. That was the actual pilot. It looks pretty young there. And I like this. I like to see kids. If you're not going to learn nothing in fucking school, learn something like this. I'm sorry. The views and opinions heard tonight, not necessarily the views and opinions of everyone on the panel.
Smartest knows what they're doing in school.
Thank you, Corey. I appreciate
Hey
it, man.
guys, it's about time to get out of here.
Oh yeah, fly for fun.
You know, the
Come
time
on.
flies when you're having fun and Lawrence is abusing people's children. But
Stop, man. Stop. No. We can't. We can't, man. No.
Tell that kid to pull his boots up. There's a lot of legs showing there.
yeah, you know, but that's the new
Yeah, I don't want to
generation.
say nothing about that because people would think I'm mean.
That's a joke. That's a joke. We joke a lot here.
Lady Cheryl,
Yeah, that's true. That's true. If you can't laugh, you can't enjoy life.
Yeah.
Seriously.
yeah, but guys, it's about that time to get out of here. And I guess who
I was like, let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Let's not drag
yeah,
it.
because it's that time.
I know.
I don't want to interfere with anybody else's time. I'm not that guy that goes live when the other guys are going live, or you know,
That
I know
was smart,
my time
Corey.
slot on the air. So in the community, so I'm gonna get off of here real
We leave
quick.
with a stab.
You know, it was fun hanging out with everyone tonight. You know,
Stevie, thanks
hanging
for
out with
coming.
you guys,
No, thank you. Thank you for
And,
sending the invite. I appreciate it.
talking to everyone in the chat. JSK, I forgot to shout you earlier, man, but I'm sorry about that. But I'm shouting you now.
My tech support, I just heard, come out of his bat cave.
Okay.
He's coming up front because we're getting ready to watch What If.
Hey,
He's
what's
going
up,
like
Will?
this. He's going like this to me.
Yeah,
Like,
it's about that time to get him out of here. It shows us.
he's going
You know,
like
the
this. He's
fall-
threatening
those
me
of you
with
who
his
watch
fist.
television, that fall season starts this week, so
Yeah.
we're gonna be getting out of here. You know, thank you everyone in the chat. We appreciate you all. We thank you for coming and hanging out with us. Because without you, none of this would make any difference, and none of us would be here. So we're here for you, and we're here to hang out with you and talk to you and share these stories and share our information with you. Thank you all for coming. You guys got anything to say before we sign out?
Just what I usually say, be safe, fly safer.
Yeah. Yes. Be good. Be good out there. Be safe.
Okay. Good night, everyone.
Bye.
And I'll see you next time on Phantom Flight 101
101.
with those